right, thank you so much for joining us on our 135th edition of the Lunch Out Loud Ottawa podcast. My name is Nick Baczewski, and of course, we're the podcast that talks to the people, places, events, and music that make this city the incredible city that it is. And we have some amazing guests this week, Jason and Albert. Before we talk to Jason and Albert, why don't we check this out? Thank you so much, Loon Choir. So, of course, that was Mountains. It's a very soothing open into this episode. It is raining outside, so it's a perfect kind of song, Mountains, off their new album, All of This and Everything Else. Catch them live at the Black Sheep Inn November 20th. They rocked it at the Folk Fest. A huge crowd for them at the Folk Fest. One of my favorite bands, St. Clair, will be opening for them on the 20th. They're an awesome band as well. So thank you so much for that. And of course, at halftime today, Jen from Foodie Prince will be talking about the Ottawa Signature Show that is on right now at the Shaw Centre. 613 Supper Club that will be happening at Union 613, as well as some beer sessions taught to you from Beyond the Pale at the same Union 613. So I'm very interested in hearing that, of course. Thank you so much, Jen. All right, so I don't even know where to start with Jason and Albert. I've met them several times. You can see them at events all across the city. I thank Jason for getting me in touch with Chris from Fat Boys. That was an eye-opener and changed a lot of things. Gets me in the goals for climbing some mountains. So thank you so much for that, Jason.
Most welcome.
And now we finally get to sit down with both of them, and it's very special because we're leading into the Ottawa Startup kind of in Ottawa. That's happening next week, so it's very impressive that we have them today. So Jason, just reading his LinkedIn is just incredible. He's a portfolio entrepreneur, venture catalyst, a mentor, strategic advisor, startup builder, deal maker, business development, and a sales pro. So if you have any kind of idea of starting your own company in Ottawa, he is one to reach out to. Try to figure out where he's going to be on a specific night in Ottawa. Bring him a coffee and try to pick his brain, because he has the connections in this city to help you out. If he can't help you, he will certainly have an idea that can point you in a direction. Sure. And we also have Albert, who is the director of Junior Achievement in Ottawa. I was a member of Junior Achievement when I was in high school back in Guelph, Ontario, and the connections I made there were incredible. So it's near and dear to my heart about Junior Achievement, getting the word out there, getting more people involved. He is also part of the Ottawa Network for Education and on the board of directors with Causeway Work Center. So I want to learn more about that, and I hope throughout this episode, we can fit in 30 minutes about all of these things Jason and Albert are doing. So welcome, both of you. Thank you so much.
It's great to be here, Nick.
Hey, thanks, Nick.
Yeah, we're back at the Invest Ottawa building. So I always like coming down here to Aberdeen, and I finally got a parking spot, which is incredible. I can't stop talking that enough.
VIP all the way for you, Nick.
So we'll start first with Jason. First, Jason. What are some of your favorite restaurants? We do this with every guest. We like to get to know your favorite restaurants or locations you like to, when you do have a spare moment, you get to relax to or look forward to.
Well, I'd have to say I put my money where my mouth is. And literally, Fat Boys Southern Barbecue, it's something I enjoy, and I have a good partner relationship with Sean Dawson, who helped pull the whole good group of people to make that new business a reality. And we really foster communities, and we have a dozen different tribes that love to come to Fat Boys and make it their own. So I spend time there when I can, but I do have a hankering for burritos lately. I've been really, Burrito Shack, one in Sunnyside. If I can get away from Carlton when I'm doing my mentoring session, I jot over there and I have a burrito.
I haven't been there yet. Yeah, I definitely need to try that. I replaced the pizza place there on Sunnyside, right?
Yeah, it's delicious.
And it's awesome?
Yeah.
Excellent. Any go-to for you? Like any kind of recommendation there?
Yeah, just the burrito and the steak.
Steak burrito?
Yep.
Al carnita?
You
I
got
think
it.
that's what they call
Yeah,
it.
go for the hot sauce. It's not so hot.
Okay, I'll
You
definitely
need
do
spice
it.
in your life, right?
That's an amazing thing. So you're just listening to your biography. It's incredible. What does a normal day? I know there is no normal day for you, but what does an average day kind of look like for you? Where do you spend most of your time?
Well, in the mornings, I like to have coffee appointments with people who request some time to either pick my brain or get a perspective on how they should move an idea forward or how they access the ecosystem, and do my emails from a coffee shop. And then in the afternoon, I take either mentor meetings or I'm working on the startups I'm involved. So as a portfolio, I look at every day how I'm moving the ball forward for the businesses I'm involved. And I call this the art of the startup. This is what I love, is the creative manifestation of an idea to real business. And so every day I'm asking, how do I move something forward on this agenda? And I also keep at least a couple hours a week in the evening or during the day for the community, and finding ways to get back to the community and move an issue and fill a gap. Yep. And that's one of the things that Albert and I really got together on, was the youth entrepreneurship, how they access the ecosystem and where their programming lies, and it's not well understood. So we wanted to build a working group. So lately I've been spending more time on the youth ecosystem challenge, and how do we make it better for all the young entrepreneurs coming through school and into businesses of their own.
Exactly, and so we'll talk about that a little later on. Favorite coffee shop that you like to work at? What's a good one for you?
Happy Goat, and the Second Cup
Happy
on
Goat,
Bank. But I don't want to give all my hot spots. These are my spots.
Fill up.
But it's true. Happy Goat's cool to roast. Just not far from here too. Just on the.
I've actually not been there yet, so I'm going to definitely do that. That's a great one. How and when did you realize this was kind of your path? Getting so excited with startups and entrepreneurship?
Soon after university, I did an internship. One, I did it in Crown Corporation, and I did an internship abroad in Slovakia through ISIC, the Work Exchange student program, and realized that I was working for an entrepreneur organization that needed to access resources that I could bring to the table from Canada. So when I came back, I decided I wanted to find a mentor that could teach me something, and it was the high-tech boom. The telecom was like just roaring, and I found a company and a mentor that took me on. So right from then, I was pretty much hooked on the startup domain, and then I got into different startups, either got pulled into projects, always up for hire. But almost 10 years ago, I said, I'm going to create my own business ventures, find good business collaborators, and work on projects that I get satisfaction, and build a bit of a lifestyle around what I do, so that I'm defining my day and my opportunities.
Where did it, we live in Ottawa, a very government-heavy town. When did you start realizing that, you know what, you can make your own path, you don't necessarily need a steady paycheck with the benefits and the benefits plan at the end? When did you decide, you know what, I can take the risk, I can do this? So
I started a business around that 10-year ago market called Conduit Solutions. I was building connections, and that's when I took the jump into the void of I don't know when I'm going to get my next paycheck, certainly, but am I going to enjoy the work I'm doing? And I put faith into my work and my effort and my clients, and created value. So ultimately, the void answered itself by create value, you'll continue to get yourself paid. And I have an understanding wife. She doesn't always understand the beast that I can be in terms of being an entrepreneur, but she's been there for me. And I started investing in things that have long-term sort of cash flowing capabilities. So the restaurant came to the table, not specifically because, but I wanted to support an entrepreneur and reciprocate the help he gave me. So I often contribute to help other entrepreneurs support. So when I need some support, I can call on it, and everyone feels like they're really making it better. Rise the tide, so to speak. Right?
And we have a very good network for that in Ottawa.
Yeah, our ecosystem is healthy, and we just need to tell the world that we are amazing.
Exactly. What did you learn in Slovakia? What kind of, because you said you came back from Slovakia, so was there some experiences there? What were they doing that was kind of different than here, or what did...
Cool question. I haven't answered that in a long time. I specifically worked on a international investor syllabus, so taking what they were doing in locomotive refurbishing, like taking trains, instead of buying new, you refurbish one for a third the cost.
Yes.
And how do you take a message about opportunity and investment in an international opportunity to international banks? So I learned something very much about packaging and presenting a very interesting investment opportunity. And I brought that back to the table when I came back to Ottawa, and I was working on executive projects for Meriton Networks, which is optical wavelength networking, NetPCS Networks, which was doing live presence detection communication via websites when it was early on.
Wow.
So I was always doing the same thing. How do we take a message and sell it and get excitement and investment?
And exactly, and dealing with different languages, different culture, different, so it keeps you on your toes the whole time. You're always learning, you're always...
Great stretch for a youth entrepreneur who's coming out of university, and it's a phenomenal learning opportunity and expand your network. I believe in the idea of building a business that can be born global, and it's something I learned and is reiterated with Lead to Win. I come from Carleton, and I have a heart for the ecosystem there, and so that's one of the key tenets is building an international business from the start if you can.
That's excellent. And just, have you had to learn to say, you're doing all of these different things, how have you learned to say no, or because you can't get overwhelmed? I know that burnout is very important to not ever experience. Just a very quick tip on how you deal with that kind of situation when you do, because people really do see you as an advisor here, but you can't take on everything.
I've always had a bit of a problem with saying no, but I'm getting certainly better at the focus. And so the coffees in the morning, I find I'm going to drink a coffee anyways. And for the chat that it can be reciprocal in nature, I'm learning something about someone's life, effort, and personal goal to make real. I get the energy from that, and then I'm contributing tidbits back. But I tell them straightforward, if I can't help you, I'm going to direct you somewhere else. Yeah. And I can't be invested in every project, but it has to mean something that is currently in my portfolio or currently something I want to learn. Because every time I get involved in a business, it's a personal, new life experience. Yes. And that's what I take away from it. So it's about who I'm speaking with as well. Can I really see myself having a long relationship? And
what percentage would you say when you do meet with these people and you do put them in touch with somebody else? Do you see a lot of people that come back and thank you for that specific meeting, or would you like to see more of like the follow up and drive? Because a lot of people have the ideas. A lot of people will come up with these great ideas. They'll come to see you. How important is for you to hear the follow-up?
I got one more recently. It was kind of neat. It was a young woman, Aboriginal, who was taking a tourism venture. And it's related to one of my other projects that I've helped stimulate. And it was through my client hearing from her father, who is a band council chief, saying, thank you for giving a resource to my daughter to give her a mentor. So it came by 2 or 3 connections of word of mouth that I got the thanks.
That's good.
And that was really kind of neat. I didn't expect it, and I really don't expect it. As long as they come away at the meeting that they have a nugget that they can move their idea to next.
But it's always good to hear those because sometimes you'll sleep on a Sunday night and go, did I accomplish many things this week, or did it come back? And it's always good to hear those come back.
Well, I've always been a proponent with the mentoring that I give to the student entrepreneurs is the reciprocal nature of entrepreneurship. Provide and give. You don't have to hold your cards so close to your chest. Sometimes on technology or patents, yes, but in terms of how you move an idea forward, share openly and willingly, and you'll find ample resources to get moving your business forward.
And that's so important, especially with new businesses that are happening in Ottawa, because it's such a tough climate now in Ottawa with amazing restaurants.